My name is Akazaki, and today we're here to talk about what you should expect when you're thinking about getting a will or a power of attorney prepared by a lawyer. And I'm here today with Kathleen Robichaud, an expert in estates law. So Kathleen, I want to get my will done. What do I need to think about?
Well, we should think about also whether you'd like to get powers of attorney for property and personal care done. You should think about who you would want to be your estate trustee and who you would want to leave your assets to. You should consider who you would normally leave your assets to, and if there's someone who a person would normally leave assets to and you're not going to do that, you should think about why. If you have minor children, you should think about who you would want to have look after them if you weren't there to do that.
I've made my appointment with the lawyer. Is there anything that I should be bringing with me?
You should be asking the lawyer that question and have the lawyer tell you the sorts of things you should bring. But some of the things that the lawyer would be telling you to bring would be things like a domestic contract, which is an agreement between common law or married spouses or separating spouses. If you've been married or divorced, it's a good idea to bring the divorce order. If you have an existing will and powers of attorney, it's a good idea to bring those. Business agreements are also helpful to bring.
And why should I be bringing those agreements?
It's a really good idea to bring the agreements because often they include information in them, clauses in them, that will affect your estate plans, that say what's supposed to happen with assets when you die. And so if the lawyer has that agreement, the lawyer can help you to plan either around them or in accordance with them.
Okay, if I'm married, should I be bringing my spouse with me?
That's a good question. Usually, if you are thinking you shouldn't bring your spouse with you, you probably already know that you shouldn't. But often couples want to get wills made together, mirror wills, where they're really leaving things to each other and then to their kids. And in that case, the couple really should come together. Ultimately, though, it will be up to you and the lawyer to discuss and to decide that together.
Okay. I've made the interview with the lawyer. What can I expect to happen next?
So different offices have different processes, but usually the lawyer will want to meet with you in person and will want to gather information from you and will also answer questions that you might have. The lawyer will want to clarify your wishes and what assets you have and that sort of thing. The lawyer will probably ask you information about yourself and about your family and about what you'd want to have happen with your belongings or what you might want to have happen if you were to become ill.
How long should I expect this meeting to take place?
I find meetings for a single person getting their will done usually take about 45 minutes. And for couples, it's usually closer to an hour. But depending on what questions you have, the complexity of your estate, what your specific wishes are, the will can take a couple hours or more.
Will I get a chance to review the will before it's complete?
It is very common for the lawyer to prepare a draft and to provide it to you to look at before you come back to sign the will.
Okay, and how is it going to be sent to me?
The draft will usually be sent to you by email or some other electronic means, but in some cases the lawyer might want you to come back to his or her office to go over it with you together.
Okay. Is it okay to ask how much it's going to cost?
For sure it is. The fees vary quite a bit, so I would say it's a good idea to ask the lawyer about what it will cost and what sort of fee structure the lawyer has.
Who looks after getting the will and the power of attorney signed? Will I be doing that?
So executing wills and powers of attorney is a special process. They have to be properly signed and witnessed to be valid. Usually the lawyer will have you come back to the lawyer's office, and the lawyer who you met with and some member of that lawyer's staff will meet with you to be the witnesses to the execution of your powers of attorney for property, your will and your power of attorney for personal care. The lawyer who prepares that who does that execution process will also prepare a special document called an affidavit of execution. In some cases, I've seen the will sent to clients with detailed instructions for execution of the will. But the difficulty with that is that often the will isn't properly signed and witnessed. And it is also fairly exceptional that the affidavit of execution gets prepared. And that document is needed in order to administer the estate later on. So it's pretty important. And so, I mean, I would also suggest that a client ask about whether that the preparation of the affidavit of execution is part of the package.
Well, we've all seen on TV the beneficiaries tearing a house apart to look for a will. If I don't want something like that to happen, can I ask the lawyer to look after the will for me?
You certainly can, and it is still, I think, fairly common for lawyers to store the will. It used to be that lawyers always stored the will for clients. Now some lawyers are saying they won't store the will. But certainly you can ask. And on the other hand, of course, if you want to take the will with you, you can take it with you. Clients often want to store their will in a safety deposit box. And my caution on that is that often safety deposit boxes are not accessible to your estate trustee after you die, and so your will could be locked up in there, and that can create some problems.
I'm still a little bit confused. Can you tell me, is there a difference between a power of attorney and a will?
The difference between a will and a power of attorney is that a will is used for the purpose of transferring your assets when you die. Power of attorney expires at the moment of your death, and a power of attorney for property is used for the purpose of helping you to look after your assets, usually at a time when you're not able to do so for yourself, helping you with things like banking, preparing tax returns, and that kind of thing. A power of attorney for personal care is used to help someone to make decisions for you when you're not able to make those decisions for yourself, healthcare decisions, and that they're often called a living will.
So those powers of attorney, should I be getting those prepared by the lawyer at the same time as my will?
I would say it's a good idea to get your powers of attorney prepared at the same time that you get your will done. Powers of attorney have to be prepared while you're capable, and so if you wait to get them done, it may be too late.
Okay. And, you know, I've heard of people preparing their own wills or getting them from a store. Why should I be going to see a lawyer to get my will done? A lawyer knows how to make sure your will is properly executed, and as I mentioned, can prepare that special affidavit of execution for you. A lawyer is able to look at the information that you provide about your assets, about where they're located, about what type of assets you have, where your beneficiaries are, where your estate trustee is located, what agreements you have, and can pull all of that together into, and kind of make sense of all of it. There are special rules and laws that govern how estates are administered as well, so the lawyer can set up the will in a way that's mindful of that to make sure that your wills are respected. A lawyer can help you set up your estate in a way that saves your loved ones time and money and reduces the risks of problems with the administration of your estate. And a lawyer is able to use wording and structure to ensure that your wishes are respected in large part by making sure someone reading the document understands clearly what your intentions were. A will is something that will not have any value until after I die. So why should I be going to see a lawyer to get that done?
People say that to me fairly often, and what I like to tell them is that a will gives people peace of mind while they're here. Everybody who leaves my office leaves looking lighter and kind of breathes a sigh of relief, knowing that they've arranged their affairs so that their loved ones are looked after. And of course, powers of attorney can also make a very difficult time for you and for your loved ones much easier.
Okay, well, I wish we had more time to talk about this. Thank you so much, Kathleen, for coming in and taking some of the mystery out of powers of attorneys and wills. And thank you for tuning in.